Welcome back, everybody. We're back.
Bring us in.
Um, what do
Bring
you
us in.
want? The song?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, they go from the dome. If they're on top, we still just turning these stones. So big in Germany that you would think that Germany's on. Darren McCliff, hold the reins, get them hooked right while Jerry the cook. Or Ted sits the bush like throwing the bet. The jokes fall from an innocent effect. They got Daryl cracking up in his tinfoil hat. Yeah, just a team, you know they ball like the Wolverine. They moving different when they drop you just like.
Okay, terrific.
Welcome to OK Perfect Podcast. Our host, and the guy with all the good words and everything has left us.
I do words good. Welcome.
Debatable.
I make the words good, baby. Yeah, we're back. Friday night on the eve of quite possibly Michigan's only test this year so far.
First
Yeah, first
real
test.
test.
First of many.
There was supposed to be one earlier against, and they were saying Indiana could have been a trap game, but we handled that.
Well, let's be honest.
Everybody else.
Are fucking annihilating teams. Any team that you play the next week can be a trap game because sometimes teams think that they're just too good.
And this time of year, entering November, you could say one, as in the Michigan players and team in general, get caught looking ahead to Thanksgiving weekend.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
It is hands down the greatest rivalry in all of sports. It is the most fucking electric atmosphere to be at. The hatred is honestly real.
Yeah.
Like I've almost foregone friendships over this.
I'm getting to the point with sports, and I was going to ask you about this anyways because you're I would call you a diehard fan, right?
Yeah,
Which I respect. I respect it. I respect your idiocy. But I'm like when the Bills lose, everyone texts me like, "Hey, it sucks, man. The Bills." I'm like,
I just text you, "You okay, bro?"
yeah, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. And it's not that I don't care about, like, I want the Bills to do good. I want them to win. But I remember maybe 10 years ago, if they lost, my whole week sucked until next week. And 10 years ago, they were fucking terrible. So a lot of weeks sucked. But at this point, they lose. I'm like, whatever. They win. I'm like, whatever. I'm just kind of, I don't know what that is. Maybe it's age.
It could be. It could be.
Kind of like the video game thing. Like I used to love to play video games. Now I thought the other day I'm going to go to the store. I'll buy some video games and I'll just sit and play video games with the kids. I don't care anymore. I just don't care. I don't care about it anymore. What do you think that is? Does it sound bad again?
No.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of a word or a phrase to absolutely just destroy you right now, but I can't. I get it. I get it.
It's just
It's different with it, it's a 100% different aspect between college football and the NFL.
I do like the
NFL,
college thing because you guys get it's
you can lose. The Bills are 5-4. They can still make the playoffs. They can still make a run. You lose one game in college, shit got real. You lose two, all hopes and dreams are gone.
Do you think that they're going to what's the play-in is or the playoffs are now 6?
No, they're 4.
They're
They're going to 12 next year.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be great. But yeah, I just don't care anymore. I just don't care. And
I care too much.
yeah, and you know, to each his own, man. But like, I just don't give a flying fuck anymore. I don't care. I don't care. Like, if they traded Josh Allen tomorrow or whatever at the end of the year, let's say they traded Josh Allen, which they never will, but they probably will down the road. I would care that we lost probably the best quarterback. Sorry, I said we. That they.
That is forever on the internet, and I can't wait to have that.
I would care that they lost.
Wasted.
Yeah, they wasted.
Wasted.
Josh Allen is a white Cam Newton, and it's already happening. He's already starting to the banged up injuries that maybe earlier in his career he could just play through and you wouldn't notice the difference that much. It's starting to affect him, and this is the second year in a row where he's had these lingering fucking injuries. And
Last year was the elbow UCL.
yeah,
Now he's not practicing like on Wednesdays or Thursdays or however that works. And they're saying it's a shoulder thing, but you watch him throw in a game,
he still
he
has.
could still launch the ball, but I think there's a touch issue there. I don't think he has quite the accuracy
Not a
in
few
touch with the long ball as he did.
Yeah, and I think that maybe when, and you notice this when he had the elbow injury too, his mechanics were off, and he where usually he's right on target, he was about 6 inches to the right, 6 inches to the left, or 6 inches too high, 6 inches too low. It was just it's off, and it sucks. But let's say that they got rid of him. I would think that I'd feel bad that the Bills wasted a massive opportunity 2 years ago. Was their window, right?
The windows, I'm gonna say it's about closed right now.
Unless now they can get rid of a lot of contracts next year and have more money to go after decent guys that are going to be on the market. But I think the Von Miller thing was a good idea in theory. They threw him a bunch of cash, but they can get out of it next year with almost no risk. And I think it's probably time. But at the same point, like the window is closing unless they do something drastic. And then I think he's only got 3 more good all-pro years, and after that, it's going to be Cam Newton. It's going to be it.
And everybody's like, "Oh, look at the numbers over these last couple of years." Everybody's saying he's washed, and numbers are the same. He's still in the fucking MVP caliber player. I'm like, no.
Well,
And here's a fucking stat that just should blow everybody's mind. Josh Allen has not gone 2 games without an interception.
yeah, but neither did I compare him to Favre.
But is what the platform they put him on?
Yeah,
You can't be like that. And the thing is, there's my eyes, not being a Bills fan, Josh Allen's a great quarterback.
yeah,
I'm not going to take that away from him. Just like I've said before, everybody knows I shit on the Bills and whatever. Josh Allen's a great quarterback. I shit on Ohio State every fucking second of my existence. They have the fucking best wide receiver core ever, all the time, whatever.
only LSU is
Allen.
the last few years, but that's
With
it.
Allen, the Bills' biggest problem is all these primetime games.
Mm-hmm.
Because guess who shows up? Not Josh Allen.
No.
Hero Josh shows up.
Yep.
The bright lights, the big stage. Now he's got a big-time girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
He shows up, and everybody's like, do the little things.
Yep.
And I know they took running away from him. Josh Allen should not be your fucking number 1 fucking running back.
Yep.
But he was. And I mean, this year I forgot. I think Murray is number 1. I mean, Josh is 2 or 3, and he's not all that far. There's not much of a difference there. And I get it. I mean, everybody blew up the story. Tom Brady had a talk heart to heart with Josh Allen. Says,
Yep.
You want to play this game? You got to fucking stop taking those hits. Allen takes off. He's like, what is he, 6'7", 6'6", 6'5",
245.
240? He's building a fucking brick shithouse.
Yeah.
But I don't give a fuck. You get out in the open and take one of those shots, because as soon as you start running, dude, those DBs.
Oh, they love it, dude. It's
and they want to just break him in half.
Yep.
And he's taking some shots, and we all know his shoulder's not 100%.
yeah. I do love him. Even if he didn't play for the Bills.
He's good for the Bills. I mean, everybody, dude. I remember the draft. I remember it. The Bills fans, every one of them, and I see their Facebook posts in April. They share it, whatever. They're like, we got the wrong Josh. And then they're like, we got the wrong Josh. And then when they share it, they're like, I ate crow on that one, But I was
excited for
him. A fantastic quarterback.
Definitely not one of those guys. I was hoping selfishly that Mayfield wouldn't go one, and I was kind of hoping that the Bills would get Mayfield. And so if I had to pick a quarterback at the time that I wanted them to get, I'd wanted them to get Mayfield. Everybody else I could care two fucking shits about or couldn't
But
care.
nobody knew about Josh Allen because nobody watched fucking Wyoming on the West Coast. I saw a handful of his games because I loved watching fucking Pack After Dark. I love turning on ESPN at 11 o'clock and watching Game Day and all the stories and shit. And then kick off at noon. Bang. And then you got a great 3:30 game.
Yep.
You got a 7:30 game. What is this? It is 1:30 in the morning. There's a game just going into the third quarter.
And it's snowing fucking sideways in Wyoming. Yeah.
It's 64-27, and they're just fucking throwing the ball everywhere. Give me all that.
Yep. Love it.
But a lot of people didn't see him.
Yeah. Oregon State, Oregon. I mean, Jesus Christ. Just they're lighting the field on fire.
Pump that shit into my veins.
I just wish that the Bills would. And honestly, like the indictment on fucking the offensive coordinator, yes, he sucks. I'm not a fan of him. However,
Everybody wants him gone.
yeah, but you can dial up. You could dial up the best plays ever, and if your quarterback doesn't hit his drop and throw the fucking ball, none of those plays work. So I think a lot of it's. I think honestly, I think it's 60% offensive coordinator and how shitty the games are plotted, and 40% of
everybody's saying. Everybody knows what is about to happen.
It is. And then there's just some. I don't think with football, and I'm not an expert. I'm not trying to be an armchair quarterback and all that kind of shit, but I think that a lot of guys get too cute with play calling. It happens all the time. You're on a good drive, then you run some bullshit wide receiver screen to the short side of the field when the tight end's on the other side. So you lose another blocker on that side, and then it's a loss of 3 yards.
Yeah.
You're at 2nd and 13, and then you run the ball, and you get 1 yard. Now you're 3rd and 12. And then what happened? So that's what I don't like. But with the Bills on Monday night, I mean, watch Denver finally become the Denver that everyone thought they were going to be 2 years ago when Peyton went there.
The other half of this coin is the Bills, honestly, on paper should win by 24 points.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
But like you just alluded to, Denver, why are they so bad? They got Sean Payton. I mean, Russell Wilson wasn't a fucking complete scrub. He's an all right quarterback.
No.
And I said, all right.
Yeah.
It. He's serviceable. But why are they so bad?
Wake
up, Kristen.
Here's my theory with Russell Wilson and also, and I'm not going to say Patrick Mahomes, but like name me one bad QB that Andy Reid ever coached. You can't find one.
No.
You can't find one.
QB whisperer.
Now, part of that is the quarterback and the talent, but that motherfucker made Jeff Garcia an MVP.
Yeah. But Mahomes
he's great.
He's unorthodox. Put it that way.
He's great.
Yeah.
I think he sounds like Kermit the Frog. Don't appreciate that. But and his wife's annoying. Don't appreciate that. His brother's really annoying. Don't appreciate that. But the dude can play. But if Andy Reid was the Bills coach, Josh Allen would still be responsible for holding onto the ball too long, rolling out to the right, and throwing the ball when he's half out of bounds. 90% of those plays work out in his favor, but that's mostly luck and talent. Sooner or later, the luck goes away, or the luck at least ebbs and flows, right?
Well, then everybody picks up on it, though.
Yeah. I mean,
and that's where we're at now. Everybody knows Allen's eyes are looking at Diggs first and foremost.
Yep.
And people are knowing now that we gotta cover him.
Well, it's a tendency league, right? So, and that's why you see, I saw a stat with Trevor Lawrence. Everyone wants to suck Trevor Lawrence's ball bag, and everyone's like talking shit about Mac Jones. They have basically the same stats.
Yeah.
Basically, over the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Now you can also say that Lawrence had the shittiest coach probably in the history of NFL coaches this year. Yeah.
Shocking.
I do like Urban as a college coach. And you can't argue against that. He produced.
He produced. You can't. Yeah. It's tough to deny. I can still fucking hate that.
I don't want to like it, but that's just the way it is. But yeah, it's a little sketchy. But yeah, that's where we're at, man. It sucks.
All right, so let's move on from some sports.
Yeah. Ooh.
Um,
I like when you have the topics and you tell me the topics because I usually do most of the talking anyways.
yeah, well, you have a way with words. I'm a side fucking side
Piece?
here. I'm side piece, side character,
Yeah.
all that fun shit.
Love you.
This is a text you sent me the other day at some godly hour in the morning. You're like, I'm just seeing this now so I don't forget it. And then he texted me this long text. And I know this had to do with the podcast and a topic we were going to talk about.
Okay.
You said, do you think that the level of deaths that happen with really shitty jobs are because of how shitty the situation is or how dumb the people are?
Yes.
You're like, this, you need to ask me this because I'm going to forget I told you, and because I've been up for 21 hours. so there you go. There.
Yeah, I worked one day from 4:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night, and then I think I texted you at like 6 in the morning that day. I was already delirious. Anyways, yeah. So I'm watching this show called it's fucking Gold Rush, but it's not Gold Rush where they mine on the land. It's Gold Rush where they mine in the ocean. And the level of stupidity with these people is so fucking high. And they're on the Bering Sea.
Which is just a death trap.
Death Central, right? So that's what I wonder about that. Now, we all know the guys that have to climb the fucking light pole that's fucking almost a mile high in the sky. And they get paid $30,000 every time they change a fucking light at the top of the tower. And that's great. 60,000, right?
Yeah.
60,000 bucks. But
Would you do that for 60 grand?
Yeah, I'd probably do it.
There's a local golf course here, and there's a used to be the antenna for Fox Channel 29 back when there was no internet, there was no cable.
The good old days. Yeah. Although we couldn't be
10 miles from my house. They built my family friends built a golf course, and this fucking gigantic antenna is right in the middle of the golf course. So you gotta you hit around at the one time and you drive by all the guy wires. Guide wires? Guy wires?
I'd say guide wires. Guide
wires? Okay. And you look up and you realize that fucking thing is way the fuck up there. And
Yeah.
out where that golf course is, a lot of private plane, little fucking theater sets and shit flying around.
Yep.
Lights and shit on. But looking at that video we were talking about where you got to climb, like you said, about a mile up.
Yeah, you can see the curvature of the earth.
Yeah, you're so fucking high up there. I wouldn't climb the one at the golf course.
Yeah.
Much less 60 G's to climb the other one. I don't think I'd get more than 20 or 30 feet up, and I would either throw up or my knees would be knocking so bad I'd just fall.
The one I was watching, the guy was explaining what he does. He says the worst part is, so obviously you forecast weather and all that kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
But the worst part is you get halfway up and the weather changes without anyone, unforecastable weather events. You're a half a mile up in the fucking sky. Like,
Got the wind shear. And you're telling me that thing's half mile up? That fucking...
oh, you gotta be feeling it. Yeah, it's fuck that. But yeah, I'm watching this fucking show, and even the guys that are confidence is a weird thing because who said it? I think Twain said it. The problem with the world is that the stupidest people think they're the smartest person in the room, and the smartest people in the room don't have the confidence to say that they are.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm paraphrasing for sure. But even the really confident people are like, no, we're going to do this, and this is how it's going to work, whatever. And 1 second into them actually trying to put this plan into play, everything's dog shit already. Everything. And I'm like, and that's why I texted you in the morning. I was like, do you think, like, look at the crab fisher guys, right?
Yeah.
You're getting...
we used to watch that fucking show
Right.
all the time, man.
But you don't have Rhodes Scholars as crab fishermen, right? You don't have, safety protocol guys as crab fishermen. You have fucking lunatics. You have people that should be working a fucking Ferris wheel at a carnival, right? Doing that job. Yeah, they're all the same people, right?
Yeah.
That's what I wonder about that. Do you think that obviously they're in bad elements. Obviously you can't forecast a fucking rogue wave and shit like that. Sure, it's dangerous as fuck. But do you think the level of stupidity that these people inherently have at least contributes 20% to the death rate?
100%.
I'm saying full boat. Yes, 100%. Fuck that. But can you imagine being like,
Oh yeah, fuck. I'm sorry. There's a county watching.
oh shit. I'm just saying that's most counties dumb. I'm not saying you are. I'm saying most.
Yeah, I mean, those are. I mean, and even what was it? Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
Yep.
I'm sorry, and I know everybody's here, and everybody does a job to make life better and easier for us.
Yep.
And some of those people have shitty fucking jobs.
Yeah, it's tough.
There's a lot of those I don't think I could handle. I really don't.
Yeah, I mean, the guys that have to go down in the near, like when those flushable wipes clog up the sewers, like you couldn't pay me. There isn't enough money in the world to go do that.
No.
Here's the thing that I wish I knew about.
And there's a lot of things I would do for money.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of those things that aren't just, they're not on that list.
No. Would you, here's the one thing I wish that I knew about and that I always tell my kids. I wish I knew more about pensions and how that shit worked. Because my whole life, you look at a garbage man, for example, right? And most around here, they're
Holy shit, son.
company owned. Yeah, but like you work 20 years, you get half pay on pension, I believe.
Yeah. Those
20
are union jobs.
Yeah, 20 years, picking up bags, throwing them in the back of a truck.
And some of these guys don't even have to do that now with these totes. They just pull them to the fucking curb and stick them to the machine. And
Yeah.
flips them in there. I mean, yeah, they got to grab all the extra shit. But I mean, I think we've all seen the fucking cartoon on Facebook. You know, the mom's walking with a young kid and they're shitting on the fucking janitor, the garbage man. And then the other mom on the other side of the street's like, you can do that because that's a union paying job with a pension and you work hard and you're done in 20 some years.
Yep.
And you got a decent life.
Yep.
You just have to work hard and these other people are turning their nose up at it. And I get it. I mean, it's not a glorified job.
No.
You don't want to go out to a bar and talking to a bunch of people, you know, oh, what do you do? You know, like, you know, I run a company. You know, I do 401ks and shit like that. I'm like, I'm a garbage man.
Yeah.
I mean, normal people like you and I would be like, cool.
Yeah.
You probably make more money than I do.
Yeah. The only time I saw anything with a garbage man that was actually kind of cool was the movie La Bamba, where his brother is like the
What
garbage.
about Men at Work?
Oh yeah, that movie is so fucking good. That movie's great.
Yeah.
All-time favorite movies. Yeah, those two movies were it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think I wish I knew a little bit more about pensions. South Park just had this thing where they made fun of how everything's being turned into, there's always got to be a trans person now, there's always got to be a black person, whatever. So like they had this, they called it the Panderverse, and Cartman was a black trans woman. and in this universe, because everybody goes to college now in this universe, and all the men are shitty. The richest people in the area were handymen because nobody knew how to do anything anymore.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where we're going.
It's going to get to that point.
I mean, I would rather try to do something myself and fail at it and then go, fuck it, we got to call somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to give it that college try. Chris has asked here before, hey, this is going on. I'm like, I know a little about this. I'm like,
Yeah.
I will try this to the extent of my knowledge. I'm not going to push it. After that, we have to call somebody.
Well, there's also
sometimes it's worked out. Sometimes it hasn't. And I'm perfectly fine with that. People are like, you're not man if you can't do that. That's not how this works.
There's also this this thing of sometimes until you do it, you don't know how easy it is.
Yeah.
Like, we remodeled our kitchen and we built kind of like a little alcove where they used to have like where the phone would be and whatever back in the day when this house was built. And we turned that into kind of like an alcohol shelf. and inside of that is an outlet. And because like to drink every now and then. And I wanted to switch the outlet out and put in one of the ones with the USB things in it. So we charge phones and computers and shit like that, right? And so I turn off the power. I get my little fucking power tester thing out, test it. No power, all good. And I'm thinking, I'm going to unscrew this shit. I'm not going to know what to do. And I'm going to have to call someone. Even before that, I called and I said, what would it cost for you to do one outlet in this like little closet thing we got? And the guy goes, oh, it's $80 for me to come out. $80 fucking dollars for one fucking
To come out.
to come out.
Not
Yeah.
to mention any work he does.
Yeah. And so I think it would end up being like $120 for one fucking outlet, right? So I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to try it and not do it. And then just be okay with not having a fucking USB outlet.
Yeah.
Or I'll figure it out. Dude, it is so easy to switch out outlets. It's so easy.
We moved here. That was the thing. I mean, it sucked because it's an old service, and you never knew what fucking fuse you on, what happened, where it was. But everything was two-prong.
Yeah.
I had a bag full of three-prong fucking outlets and shit. I'm like, these aren't hard to change. I mean, that copper fucking wire's thick as fucking. When they put them in back in the day, they put them in to stay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, just as long as the power's out, I'll fuck with that.
Yeah.
I won't run a service. I mean, back at my old house when I put that casino in and I put in all the outlets and everything, and I ran a fucking wire from those, and I left like 20 feet at the service box and said, I'm not touching this.
Yep.
Like, what do you mean? This is the easiest part. I'm like, I'm not doing this.
No.
I will pay you
Yeah.
to hook up the hotline. And they're like, they didn't shut the main off or anything. They fucking just did it hot. I'm like, the fuck?
I would never do that.
And
No.
it was like drinking a beer, eating a piece of pizza, and fucking sticking wires in there, and like, you're good. Go plug something in. And I'm like, fuck, everything works. This is
Yeah.
amazing. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah. When I have to have like lines run outside when we put the hot tub and stuff like that, I'm not going to go put my own 220 line in. No, fuck that. Like,
I'll run it from the hot tub to the house.
Yeah.
Somebody else has got to plug that bitch in.
Yeah, I'm not doing any of that shit. But yeah, no, I do wonder about that kind of stuff. And when I was watching the show, I'm like, dude, the level of stupidity with these people, and they have the opportunity to go make a shitload of cash. I mean, they get 300 ounces out of the ground, and what, an ounce goes for two grand?
Of what?
Gold. It's around 2 grand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we're back to, yeah.
But like, it's just it was amazing at how dumb everybody is. So now you're like out on a barge with a backhoe digging ground out of the Bering Sea, and you're around nothing but idiots.
Which is like one of the most unpredictable bodies of water in
Yes.
the world.
And they're not deep out, but like it's still like you're on the fucking Bering Sea, for fuck's sake, Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone's a fucking critic. Yeah, I get it. The sign is a little tiny. It tries hard though. It's like my wiener. It's not going to set any records. I got to take this fucking wig off. It's way too hot. Woo. Woo. There's that hairline we all love.
There it is. So shiny.
I look like a gay vampire.
I don't think anybody really wanted to say that. That's fun.
Whew, man, it's hot in these rhinos. Next topic. Go ahead.
Oh, fuck. Hang on. do. That was kind of like at, what do you call it? Something you told me the other day. Gambler. I can't read your handwriting. Gambler ads?
Yes. Okay. So I'm driving on the street, and there's this sports book thing, right? You can put in bets and whatever. You can bet on whatever. All sort of shit. It's a 30-second ad for gambling, right? And then it's 45 seconds of if you have a problem with gambling, or if you know someone that has a problem with gambling, you go to 1-800-GAMBLER, and they can help you. Like, do you think anyone's ever seen or heard an ad like that has a gambling problem and goes, fuck, man, they're right. I should go get help. No.
What do you think? Which number do you think gets called more? The Gamblers Anonymous number or the Alcoholics anonymous number?
I would say there's more alcoholics than gamblers. So I would say alcoholics.
I would lean that way too.
Yeah.
And I don't think the gap is much.
Well, dude, like every alcohol ad goes, dude, I'm not on Coke anymore.
Yet.
Or yet. It's like this ad for Lagunitas beer and everyone's having a fun time at the beach. And then it goes, drink responsibly. When have you ever drank responsibly?
One of what else pisses me off? Like the Dr. Pepper commercials where there's a fucking house party going on and they're all drinking Dr. Pepper. That is not fucking real life.
No.
It's not. No. Not everybody's like, Dr. Pepper. And they're fucking dancing and jumping in the pool and everybody's having a good time and whatever. No, motherfuckers.
No.
That isn't real.
No, not real life. Yeah. You know what would really spruce this party up? This party's kind of dead, Greg. Hang on. He flips open a cooler and there's ice cold Dr. Pepper. And now everyone's going to have a good time?
All of a sudden, the crowd goes wild.
Yeah.
No, motherfucker. You want to know what's going to fire this party up? Fucking look at G Money over there. Just pulled out a fucking key of heroin. Let's go.
Well, like it's like those in the booze commercials too. So it's like Eli Manning and Snoop Dogg on a fucking beach. And Snoop
is it Andy Samberg in those?
Andy Samberg's in there too, yeah. And then it's like drink responsibly. It's like, well, they are drinking responsibly. They're on the beach with Snoop Dogg, who isn't the most responsible guy. Killed somebody, allegedly,
I mean,
and
yeah. Show fucking parties that are absolutely turned.
if you really wanted to get people away from drinking, and you were doing, so we should do a beer ad.
Fuck. I'm putting my hand up like because we need to shoot a legit ad for Bushline. Not a sponsor yet, but be completely and utterly honest about it.
Someone, his girlfriend doesn't want him to go. I'm fine. Gets in the car. Shut up, you bitch.
And there's beep. There's just so much swearing. There's just empty fucking cans and bottles everywhere. People are half naked.
Drink responsibly starts with like everyone drinks responsibly in the beginning, right?
Honestly, I think we all have good intentions, right?
Sure.
The lady today at poker, I was like, I'm gonna light the fuse. I was there for 3.5 hours. I had 2 beers.
There you go.
And she watched one of the old guys drink like a finger and a half of wild turkey. She's like worried about him driving.
Okay.
Jesus Christ, I could put about 15 of these Heinekens down and drive without a problem.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, we all go out with those good intentions. Hey, we're gonna drink tonight. I know my car's here.
Yep.
You fucked up. Uber. Somebody
Sure.
give me a ride back, or I'll Uber back and get my vehicle. And then what happens?
I think Burr has a bit about this.
Yeah,
Have you seen it?
I think so.
We'll try to find it real quick.
Yeah, because he was fucking going off about leaving his car in a bar parking lot. Yes, absolutely does. And it's like, I mean, do I want to leave my fucking $50,000 plus fucking truck sitting in a shitty bar parking lot for other drunks to run into? I mean, I guess paying a $1,000 deductible to get my truck fixed is way cheaper than a $15,000 DWI.
I can't find it.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's the Uber ride's $21. Ugh.
Yeah, just do it.
But it's so much money, but $10,000 minus $21. It's
Way worth it. And
yeah.
I love nothing more than when we're in a city where, last time we were in Buffalo, we didn't rent a car. We flew in, we Ubered to see you, we Ubered to wherever, we Ubered to the game. That's it.
What about the one time you came up and you and I were left to our own devices? We were at Neighbors playing Golden Tee.
Sure.
And we were starting to get drunk. And we're like, let's go back to my house.
Yep.
That was the night we went to the casino. And I go, Krista can drive us because she's sober, or we're just going to Uber.
Yeah.
And then that one night we got drunk And we Ubered everywhere.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, it costs you what, $60?
Yeah.
Maybe. That's cool.
It's a bar tab, at most places. And I just wish I would think more logically. Sometimes I don't. Most of it I do. Sometimes I don't. It happens.
That to me is us. Like, so I think drinking oh boy. I think drinking responsibly has to come with an asterisk. God damn it. Is it Asterisk? Is it Rick Astley?
Hey, Rick Astley.
I just want to celebrate. Is it Asterisk? God damn. Asterisk.
Yeah.
Oh, the ace.
Jack Astor.
Isk. Asterisk. I'm Ted Coward. Asterisk. Prom kings go home and fuck their cheerleader. What was that quote?
I don't remember.
It's so good though, from The Rock.
I know
I think I think that was us drinking responsibly, but it surely isn't two guys or having a beer.
We were not drinking responsibly. We acted responsibly.
Yeah, okay, that's a good caveat.
Completely different.
Yeah,
We never drink responsibly. We can act responsibly if we have to.
dude, there's
We
one.
don't drink responsibly.
I think it's a Crown Royal commercial, okay, where everyone's at a bar and just so happens that not one person's having a beer. Everybody's drinking Crown Royal. When's the fucking last time someone goes, hey, you want a Crown Royal on the fucking rocks? And you're like, that's right up my fucking alley. Absolute zero fucking times ever.
Hey, guess what? You should get one for everybody in here. We should all do that.
Yeah, let's all have Crown Royal and I'll take nasty fucking wet shits later. No thanks. No thanks. So
Yeah, I mean, the expected reality out of those fucking commercials for whether it's pop or soda or whatever the fuck it is, compared to like alcohol, they're unrealistic.
what's more realistic was the old Coors Light commercial where the guys are at a pool party and the pool party sucks and the guy cracks a Coors Light and it becomes winter and everyone's still in the pool. That's more realistic than some of the fucking parties that are in these fucking commercials. Like winter just happens to come and people are like, fuck it, man, we have Coors Light. That's more realistic.
In watching these people just crack open a Coke in the fucking, you see the steam come off it and they're like just drinking it like it's the greatest thing they've ever had.
Yeah.
Everybody's dancing and having fun. It's the same thing as the fucking tampon commercials. Nobody that's having their period is that fucking happy.
No.
Nobody.
No.
Stop with the bullshit.
It's
lying to people.
that's
Why are
happening.
we doing? Why are we lying?
Nobody
this?
should be in my house.
It's just crazy.
Talk about my fucking eyebrow. What's going
Unexpected reality.
What's that? The Crown Royal commercial. Everyone's at a bar, right? And they're watching the big game, right? And then a whistle blows and a referee shows up and he throws a flag. And then everyone guzzles water.
He throws a
Flag? Yeah, he picks up this girly man and just chucks him against the fucking wall. Get out of here, bitch. Throws this gay guy through a window. You're out of here.
Jenner shows up. He just chucks him.
I'll show you, you gay guy drinking Crown and Coke. So then everyone drinks. So everyone stops, and it says drink responsibly, and they drink. Everyone starts guzzling water, and it's not like, dude. Sometimes you see someone have a nice cold glass of water, you go, God damn, that would really hit the spot. It's got the condensation on the outside of the glass, and you just know what good cold water tastes like. I'm all for it. But never in the history of the world does a cohesive group come together and guzzle and gulp their fucking. It's like.
Chris, I can do without hearing that noise.
I can't.
Joke.
But like, that's how everyone. And even if. Let's say it was Bullet. Bullet is my jam. I love Bullet. Bullet is my favorite bourbon of all time. I've had Pappy. I've had all the other ones. I've had more than most people should probably ever have of bourbon. Sample them all, like Daryl with Dick's. Sample them all.
Circle back to that.
You like at the Ponderosa at Dick's. It's I want a dick, I want a dick, I want a dick, I want a dick, a dick of cheese. And everyone's just fucking smashing fucking Crown Royal. If Bullet did a commercial like that and everyone drank water like that, I would never ever drink Bullet again. And I'd be sad about it, but they did this.
You
They
can watch those Dr. Pepper and Coke commercials, and they grab the bottle, and they're like, and it makes that fucking beautiful noise, like an ice cold Coke out of a bottle is gonna do. And then they're like,
and they house it.
and you could see that you're just watching because it's in a glass, it's a clear glass bottle. You're just watching them just,
Smash it.
and then at the end they're like, they look in the camera like,
Yeah.
nobody is doing this. Every fucking party I've ever been to, people are drunk.
Yes.
They're not drink. There's not 40 people, most of them like in the commercials, good looking,
Yeah.
in shape and everything, having a party with Dr. Pepper. If somebody said, "Hey, come over, we're having a pool party," and I walked in and there was just coolers of Dr. Pepper or Coke,
We're
and I'm
out.
watching everybody fucking drink that shit and have a good time,
Out.
I'm gone. And then on my way out, I'm throwing a fucking Molotov cocktail through the front window.
That's the only alcohol at the party is the Molotov cocktail. Yeah, I hate that shit. And honestly, even on like soda commercials and stuff like that, like that's a leading cause of fucking diabetes, all this other shit, right? And there's never a fat person in any of these fucking things. Never. Just is. Just is. Like, should McDonald's have a hey fatty? Have
You put
McDonald's
down that fucking
fat bitch.
Big Mac.
Yeah, like McDonald's kills fucking everybody. Cigarette commercials, which they don't even have anymore. They don't have that.
No.
Dude, I did get called on my own bullshit one day. I was complaining about commercials because commercials have like Bush, Lagunitas. There was this commercial. It was 5 or 6 friends watching a football game, all having Bud Lights, let's call it. Back when Bud Light was still doing commercials without chicks with hogs bigger than mine. And I'm like, I go to my friend. I'm like, why is it? Because we're watching football. I'm like, why is it that every fucking commercial now has to have a black dude, an Asian guy, a white guy, and then there's a chick that likes football more than her husband, all this shit, right? And then I look around, I'm with an Asian guy, a black guy, and a redheaded guy. Like, oh, okay, it is kind of like real life. I just chose to get annoyed over something that I shouldn't have gotten annoyed over. Whoopsie daisy. I think commercials are a little shitty at this point. But the gambling one was kind of funny. It's like, yeah, man, you can bet on whatever. You want to bet if your kid loses a tooth on fucking Tuesday? Bet it, whatever. And then all this somber music comes on. It's like, by the way, if you have problems gambling,
If you or a loved one,
you can seek help and call 1-800-GAMBLER and find you and whatever. It's like, who has ever gone, you know what? I should give it up. When the first part of the commercial was like, you're going to be so rich. You're going to gamble on everything. You like betting on fucking Taiwanese fucking hooker ping pong?
be a polo at 1 a.m. in a foreign country.
It's fine.
But if you got a problem or somebody you know does, have them call this number.
It basically was like rad music, and then it turned into like the Sarah McLachlan with the cat with one fucking eye, somber music. Like, in the eye, if you have problems gambling,
Come to my wait.
this kitten only has one leg. Like, what are we doing? I got so annoyed with that. And you know, betting apps are like fucking everywhere. There's like 30,000 different betting apps.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in the drive, it took me 15 minutes to get from dropping Olivia off to go to the bar. And it was 2 betting app commercials, same premise. Fucking rad chicks, fucking money.
Hey, bet $5, win $200 in free play.
You put in $100, we'll give you $1,000 in free bets. Whatever, dude. By the way,
You can't lose.
yeah, and, like somber music. Your dad never loved you, and we know, and that's why you're trying to fill this hole. And you can't reconcile with him because he's fucking dead. Anyways, you should call fucking 1-800-GAMBLER. Just fucking do it, man. Like, like the spousal abuse commercials. Like you know what I mean? Like, let's say you're a guy that hits his bitch every now and then. I'm not. Sean Connery was. He was pretty fucking cool. He was fucking James Bond. Do you think Sean Connery sitting with his wife? His wife has a fucking steak over her eye to try to get the puffiness.
Yo, when you're done with that, you gonna cook that shit for me or what?
You better not burn it, you bitch.
Yeah. I like my steaks medium. You cunt.
Shaken, not stirred like your goddamn forehead.
You burn this fucking steak, you're gonna need another one for your eye.
Double
Your other eye.
shoving you in the face with a goddamn broomstick. But like, let's say you're an abuser of women, which I'm not, which you are not. But you watch this one about this lady that gets hit. I didn't mean to laugh during that. Take two.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sorry, but the premise is gonna be funny.
But no one's ever going to change. Like, that cat's not going to change its stripes. Like, oh, you know what? Because this commercial came on during fucking Magnum, I'm not. Yeah, cats have stripes, dude.
That's not the phrase.
What is it? Leopard's not going to change its spot.
Oh, yes, or tiger.
Liger.
Yeah, liger. Liger's not gonna change its striped spots.
But like, no one's ever gone like, you know what? She's like still locked in the bathroom, right? She's calling the police, ordering a fucking pizza. You know what they do? You know, yeah. I need extra anchovies, and a fucking guy shows up and digs her out, and then the police show up.
Why is there a hole in a box of that pizza?
I need a pizza, extra blood. What? Sorry, but no one's gonna see that commercial and go, you know what? I'm gonna stop doing that.
Yeah.
Can we just stop with all that stuff? Like the drinking. Sorry. I'm not. Hey, I say it because I think I'm going to make people laugh. This is a character. Okay? I play a character. I'm a somewhat successful, moderately naked character on the internet right now, just saying things.
This podcast is so bad. Yeah, it's so good.
I'm just saying, like
I wish more people were able to witness our genius sometimes.
I mean,
I have no idea what that is.
I think I'm
Is
great.
that a cat or a dog
I think
or a
it's
clown?
Sean Connery's wife with two black eyes. Did you say black guys? No, I said black eyes because you keep punching me in the face, Sean. Did you ever see that
Throw
interview?
the steak out
Did you see that
again.
interview with Barbara Walters with Sean Connery?
Yeah.
She's like, you said that every now and then a woman needs a nice slap. And he goes, yes. She goes, so
Wait, dude, it caught her off guard.
she's like, say that one more time into your lapel mic. Yes, I hit her every now and then.
Yes, I punched the fuck out of bitches that don't listen.
It's like sometimes when she's being hysterical, every now and then you take a backhand to her. What's the big deal? And he didn't get canceled. Nowadays, canceled.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah.
Right, since we're kind of getting a little long in the tooth here, the last topic that you had written on your bar napkin,
Allegedly.
which my children were watching this earlier today when I came home. Mr. Beast.
Yes. Yeah. So he's getting
shit on for being the nicest, most philanthropic person.
philanthropic.
The philanthropics?
Carnegie or Carnegie?
Philanthropics?
Is it Andrew Carnegie or Andrew Carnegie?
Not gonna say it. Andrew, not gonna say it.
Carnegie.
What's wrong with your car?
Yeah, so he goes and he builds these water wells, right? And in this country that these people can't have water. The only way to get water is to put a jug on your head, walk to a river, punt
Filled with fucking crocodiles.
punt a fucking dinosaur in the face, and then come back with one toe.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to get water. He goes and he gets these people wells. He builds 100 fucking wells. And people are saying, well, he did it for publicity. He makes money to do good things for people by making videos and people watch the fucking videos. That's how he makes money. How is that bad? How is it bad?
And the thing was, I didn't know who he was until a while ago.
Yeah.
And Brady watched him all the time. Mr. Beast this, Mr. Beast that. And then one day, he was watching YouTube, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And he was doing like this crazy shit. Hey, I will give you $50,000 to live in this house for 100 days.
Yeah.
But this house is in the middle of a field, and there's a red circle around it, and you're not allowed to leave.
Yeah.
And then he brings in a marching band in the middle of the night
Yep.
and all this shit. And then I see that I find out who Mr. Beast is. This dude he started a YouTube channel from basically nothing.
Yeah.
And is making billions on it. And then turning around and giving that money away.
Yeah.
And doing good things. Like today, I came home from poker and my kids were watching him. He took him and his crew, and they were going down a list of probably 8 different tiers of money about flying somewhere. Like, hey, $500 airline ticket's going to get you this. And they all fly in there and like fucking coach. Like,
Sure.
It sucks. And then it goes to like 10 grand.
Mm-hmm.
And they got their own private first class room. Though some guys got a shower.
Yeah.
There's all this shit. And then it's like $25,000. What does it get you? They're like, oh, you get to go to the second deck of this airplane. He's flying these motherfuckers, like 8 of them
Yeah. It's awesome.
around
Yeah.
at 25 grand. And he's like, we're going to Disneyland for fucking 2 days. I didn't tell you where you're going. You just get on the plane.
Yeah.
And then he's like, boom, from 25 grand, he goes up to 100 grand. They're like, where are we going? And he's like, wherever the fuck we want. We have the whole jet.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And he's paying 100 grand a person.
Yeah.
Like almost $1 million. And he is just throwing this money out just to show people what it's like for that. He don't give a fuck about that money.
No.
He doesn't. The dude wears a zip-up fucking hoodie and a t-shirt and jeans and makes people do crazy shit to see how far they would go for money. And anybody just bails. He's like, fuck it. I was going to give you 50. I'll give you 30 and have a great day.
Yeah.
Why are people shitting on this guy?
Dude, the first
He's
time
done more for humanity than basically anybody I know.
they shit on him, I'm gonna write this down. Mr. Beast. My handwriting sucks, dude.
I know. I saw that.
It's a true mark of all geniuses. No big deal. The first time they shit on him, it was because he found 100 people that were blind, and he paid for them to get eyes. So he took 100 people that were blind, and they can see now. And these fucking losers on the internets, whatever the fuck that is,
On the web.
on the
line.
on the line, they start saying, well, he's only doing it for publicity. He's doing it so you watch the video, so he gets more money. So then he goes and buys a car dealership, and anyone that comes in the car dealership can pick any car they want for free.
He bought a fucking old bank and put up a sign. It said like free money or something. They come into the bank and they're like, you got to tell, what would you like? They're like, what do you think? They're like, I can use $1,000. And then there's like one guy in like a nice shirt walking behind. He's the bank manager. And they're like, where's the story? He's like, oh, well, they want $1,000 for this. He's like, approved. And then bang, $1,000. And they walk out. And he's legit giving away hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yes. Is he doing it for clicks? Yes. Why? That generates revenue.
Yeah.
Which in turn, he gives back to the community.
It's like, what are these people doing? Like, I can complain about a lot of shit, but I also, when I can help people, I help people. That should be the benchmark for any human, right? Do what you can to help, right? But at the same point, like, I just don't get why people are shitting on him. I just don't get it. And this one with like the Wells thing, I mean,
Yeah.
it's one thing to give somebody $1,000 in free money because they come into a fake bank and ask for $1,000.
Yeah.
That's cool. But it's the other thing. These people don't have access to water.
Or just water, period. Not just clean water, just water in general.
Water.
They're literally risking life and limb to go to a river, which is in crocodile, python, boa constrictor infested,
Yeah.
and get water and then run it through a dirty shirt
Yeah.
to try to filter it. And this dude comes up and says, I got all this money. I'm going to give you guys wells with clean, drinkable, potable, usable water.
Yep.
and you're shitting on him because he's doing it for clicks.
I don't get
Create more revenue so we can do more good for people.
it. Sucks, man. It sucks. And he,
Dude, it's got to be tough to be him. I didn't really. It was funny. You know what his name is?
no.
His real name is Jimmy.
Ooh.
All his friends call him Jimmy in the videos and shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I mean, Mr. Beast is a pretty cool fucking name. What would your internet name be?
Fuck, dude.
Mine is
I had this problem too, creating email addresses. I'm like, this has got to be fucking cool and this has got to be dope. And then you see it on a fucking resume, you're like, fuck, I'm not getting this job.
Cocklover89
Yeah.
at Yahoo.
Ladies man 69. Oh, fuck, what was I thinking?
One of our friends had an instant messenger name. It was like Player GQ or something like that. It's like, you're not a player and you're not GQ. I mean, I love you, but
But it played back then.
it sure did.
Until you need to get a job. And that's when everybody started realizing, like, fuck, you got to make up extra email accounts.
I think my favorite instant messenger name was Pussy Fart. Fuck. Take two. Pussy Fart in Walmart. It rhymed. Topical.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good one. It's a good one. I had Humpy Beaufort after Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah, I remember like screen names were a big thing, and now everyone that's the one thing I wish that Meta or X or not, yes, Twitter or X, whatever the fuck it's called now.
I'm not allowed to partake.
But I wish that they did what Facebook did for the most part. Facebook is saying if you want to do any advertising, you have to be verified as you to do advertising.
Yeah.
I think the whole internet should go that way. I think it should all be traceable or trackable back to that. You know,
I mean, but like I got banned from Twitter,
which
So,
is amazing.
If I want to get a new Twitter account to follow up on sports and whatever, I have to create a new persona. I have to go and create a new fucking email address from an account. Like I can't use Yahoo anymore.
Wait.
And that's my main email account that I use. You know, my name at Yahoo, whatever. But I can't do it and just say, hey, I'm gonna alter my name at Yahoo because they're gonna fucking nail it.
Yep.
I have Gmail on this computer solely for this podcast, so I can go into the chat and click the link, and boom, here we are.
Mhm.
I don't want a fucking another Gmail account. I don't even know the fucking password to this one. But I'm like, I still want to get back on Twitter and catch up because it seems like news and shit happens faster on there
It does,
than
yeah.
it does Facebook. But I'm like, I just don't know if I want to deal with a fucking headache anymore.
And you can pick and choose your sources, which I do really appreciate.
Yeah.
I think, you know, I don't know. I just wish it was a little bit more pure, as they say. You know, I wish it was a little bit more like if someone's talking shit to you, you kind of know that that's a person and they're not like fucking Spotty Dick fucking 98. You know, you're like, okay, Spotty Dick 98. Fuck you. You know, fuck that shit.
But like Sammy, he's like on his 15th or 20th fucking burner account. And I'm like, how? How do you do that?
I don't have the energy for it. I just don't.
That's the other half of that. I'm like, I just don't. I'm like, I just want my fucking 14 years. I had one violation. I got fucking booted forever. Man, was it fucking good?
I advertise a lot on Facebook, like a lot.
Yes.
And I was doing a couple things, and then all of a sudden it said you're restricted. You can't do anything. And I had just
immediately call me. It's like, what did you do?
I had just recently commented on one of our things, but it wasn't even like mean.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, if they got the nuance in that comment to what it really meant, we're fucked. I need to stay off this platform altogether. It turns out that I signed in on my phone and I signed in on this to connect this thing to that. And then that, because it's all through the same Facebook account.
Yeah.
That's 30 different things. I had to go back and like re-verify something, but I thought I was banned again from fucking Facebook. And I got protections now on some of that stuff. I have other people in these things that can still make everything run. But I was like, motherfucker, because I have like 70 companies that I market for.
Dude, will you go back tomorrow and look at this podcast in the comments? And there's going to be a couple that are like hidden because it's offensive. And I was just talking to Kristen the other day about this.
It'll probably be.
Earlier today or yesterday. And I said, you're not going to believe this. And she's like, with you, anything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, I know I deserve most of it. I go, but I almost got banned the other day for making a crack at London.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? So I sent her the screenshots that I sent you. And I said, okay. But the fact that they connected the dots and were able to just say, this is out of context when they don't believe in context, I was like, that pissed me off.
Yeah.
That's why I said it to you. You're like, you got to do it Mad Lib style. And I did it.
It sucks, man.
I shouldn't have used the keywords, but they nailed that one too. And I sent it to her and she's like, what the fuck? I'm like,
Dude,
that is how much on the radar I am. I'm telling you, dude, every time things get escalated and you want to say shit and bust on a friend or fuck with some idiot, I got to reread, proofread, and read for the fifth fucking time what I wrote. Trying to figure out if Facebook's going to flag it for whatever fucking reason. It's awful.
There's an alarm that goes off every time you post at Facebook.
Yeah.
Like, here we go. Yeah. And like,
They're
how?
like, we're gonna get him again. And then like at least Twitter before used to stop and say, hey man, this usually isn't accepted by a bunch of our users. Would you like to edit this, delete it, or would you like to carry on? That was great. So I mean, my comment that I got banned on Twitter for slipped through and it was there for a day and a half. I think somebody reported it because they got butthurt.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, I would have appreciated you going to give me a 72-hour ban or just say, hey, 5 days.
That's fair.
Hey, man, whatever. I know it's your first offense, but this was a little out of pocket. I'm like, I can understand it. But 14 years, not one offense. And for that comment to just get me banned permanently from the platform. I mean, my Facebook
Dude, ISIS
rap sheet is probably easily 5 or 6 screenshots long to get them all in there.
Oh yeah. ISIS is on Twitter.
Yeah.
Like Hamas
Okay, though.
is on Twitter. You are not.
And people are like, well, you threatened a sitting president. I'm like, but I didn't. If you understand context, if Facebook's or Twitter's independent people were able to understand what context is and read into it and say, hey, maybe he could have meant this.
Sure.
And then say, hey, yo, listen, it's kind of on the edge.
Sure.
Would you mind deleting it or maybe wording it different? Then, sure.
Or
now it's just the fucking ban hammer gets swung and it's like,
or just take it down and say, hey, we're not going to show that shit. Period.
Or that. Hey,
That's-
we deleted your message because we thought this.
And
Would you like to appeal it? Yeah. And well, I'm going to write you a 274 words of why I think you got it wrong. If you don't want to agree with it, that's fine.
yeah.
Just take it down.
I had one with Facebook where so we got in trouble on YouTube. We did when we were reading off of the CDC website.
Oh, that's right.
We were reading the exact
Yeah.
vax efficacy.
Ooh, how hard was that for you to get out?
Efficacy. We were reading the exact
That's like-
terminology that's on exact word,
Word for word.
and we got a ding. If 3 dings, we can't do anything. We don't do anything on YouTube anyway, so who cares? But at the same point, it's like, but you can literally go and see ISIS recruiting videos on YouTube. I read off this
crazy how
website. I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
And honestly, who's reading these terms and conditions? Nobody is, because they're happy to sign up. They're happy to send out a tweet. They're happy to help a friend or like a friend's post, blah, 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 blah. And that's that. But it's like, holy fuck. I mean, not only did they just ban me from like looking at Facebook or Twitter or anything, they deleted all my followers,
Yeah,
who I would say most of them are fucking bots.
sure.
But they deleted everybody I followed. So
Well,
if I
that-
wanted to start a new account, I can't go to my old one and say, okay, I've got 196 people, mostly sports and poker and athletes and Michigan shit that I follow. I can't go in there and refollow all those guys. I have no idea who they are. It's
Yeah.
gone. It's 0 and 0. I'm like,
Well, that's the other thing too. If your platform, so even when Musk was trying to buy Twitter, and I think we can push to live to Twitter. Oh, we do push live to Twitter, so we're live on Twitter right now. Allegedly. Even when he was buying it, he's like, I'm not going to pay $43 billion because I don't believe that the amount of users that you have are actual users. So let's say that you have,
that was the big fight, right?
let's say you have 1 billion users, but if 50% of them are bots, why should I pay full boat on that? I'm not going to pay full boat on that.
Yeah.
They don't even have the ability to detect bots. On Facebook right now, if you advertise on Facebook at all, every day I get 70 plus messages where it's Facebook truth panel, and it's like this message that goes out to the business owners and says, we've detected that you're using non-copywritten or copyrighted or non-proprietary photos on your ads and whatever, and click on this link to do it. It's 100% phishing attempt. 100%. None of it ever comes from fucking Facebook, ever. But Facebook doesn't see those messages going out. They fucking do. They're worried about you. They're worried about you that sits in a basement and is just an old cunt. No offense. I said no offense, so you can't take offense to it.
No, but I mean, even they're like, hey, you want to disagree with this? Here, fill out this form. It goes to our independent people. Motherfucker, these guys that you put up the pictures, you pose the pictures of these people, it ain't them. And
No.
we all know you're fucking paying for it.
Yeah.
Zuckerberg, we all know you're paying for it.
Yeah. And
Context matters in real life while we're talking like this, or something that we type. Context matters. And the thing is, no matter what, they're like, oh, did we take that out of context? Yes, you absolutely fucking did.
yeah.
And they're like, nope, you got it wrong. And guess what? 30 days in a hole.
It just depends
Wait
on
a second. You go back and look at the history of me and London talking shit to each other
Yep.
for the last 8 years that we've been friends on Facebook in the back and forth. Can you see where this is going?
I wish that
Nope.
we talked about this before, but I think that it'd be really cool if you and your friend could hit a button and something pops up and you say, we both agree that we're going to throw shit at each other.
Yeah. I
And-
am okay with him talking
And
down
you both
to me.
have to click it. You both have to click it. And maybe some people that are in your friend universe and in his friend universe, maybe they're not going to see those things. Maybe it's going to be hidden because of whatever. But at least you can talk shit to each other.
But what if somebody sees that and takes offense to it?
Fuck them.
I think that should be part of it too.
What?
I just keep seeing this now, and it rings true more than ever. About people's triggers.
Mhm.
That's your responsibility. I am not here to tiptoe around your fucking triggers because it bothers you. That's not my fucking problem.
Yeah, I mean-
That's your problem, and too many people don't understand it because they're getting away with it now.
Yeah, this whole nation has become a nation of absolute crybabies. And
It has been.
it really sucks. It sucks. It's
It's just sad. It's just tough to live with.
yeah.
Like I said, everybody's sure. Like I said, I told you I went down that rabbit hole about watching these chicks get fucking DWIs. Well, this girl got caught going the wrong way the other night.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and she's like, and he's like, "Hey, ma'am," she's obviously a female.
Yep.
And she's like, "I'm not binary," and it really triggers me if you call me that. So he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna try my best."
Yeah.
So they're going through the fucking motions, and then it slips again. And she's like, "Oh my god, my feelings are so hurt." And I'm like, "Fuck!" At this point, fuck you.
Yeah, you're driving the wrong way down a fucking road. Number one, you're driving.
And then people are in the comments are like, "Hey, why don't you just fucking breathalyze them and be over it?" Different states operate different ways. They have to go through protocol,
Yep.
and I get that. But and that's the first thing. There's days where I'm tired and I don't feel good, and I haven't had anything to drink. If I get pulled over by a cop, they're like, "Hey, man, you crossed the yellow line a couple times and say anything." I'm like, dude, just you can run me through the sobriety, the walk the line. I'm not going to be able to do it, stand on one leg and everything. I go, but I haven't anything to drink. Just breathalyze me. They're like, we can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, let me fail all these things, and then you breathalyze me, and I blow a 0.00, and we're done here.
Yeah, I mean, I still have some of the lingering effects of that benign positional vertigo that I have. And so if you have me stand on one leg and look down, the whole world spins for me. I don't know why that is.
Now that's a question they ask, because I saw this in the videos. They're like, is there anything that will prevent you from doing X?
Yeah,
And
and
you're like, but
Try
all
it.
these people are so fucking far gone. Like I said, that girl's like, how much did you have to drink tonight? Like, well, I had 3 o'clock to drink, because she didn't know where the fuck she was. I mean, I can be completely annihilated, and if somebody asks me a question, I'm going to give you a mostly coherent answer.
yeah, that'd
I'm
be
not going to say, hey,
the cop. I would be like,
yeah.
all right, so I had 3 drinks. First of all, you got to say more than 3. I think, right?
No, you got to say more than 2.
More than 2.
Always, 2's the standard answer.
So I had, let's say I get pulled over. I had 2 drinks. I had 3 drinks. And then he'll be like, well, how long ago? Like, well, okay, well, I started here and I did this. Did you ever see that one fucking thing with the whatever? Like, all of a sudden, it's like, it turns into a fucking podcast of me talking about fucking evolution. Yeah, I should be able to present a card. I'm going to say yes and no, because you don't want to hear my fucking answers.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
And I understood it. And every one of these videos that I was watching, I was like, holy fuck, this is great fucking TV. All these, and every one of them was like pretentious, and they're like, we got a cop friend. Half of them didn't know where they were and all that shit. But it's like, at some point, everybody in the comments section, because you got to read, some of the 2.4 thousand comments.
You gotta.
And it's like, why don't they just breathalyze them? And I'm like, the cops have a certain protocol to follow, so that when this gets to court, it plays the way it should.
As to the letter
Yeah.
in that state.
Yeah, I mean,
That-
obviously,
District.
like this girl that's passed out with her fucking head touching her spine
Yeah.
at a stoplight is fucking completely annihilated. She has no idea where she is and can't put words together. Is drunk.
Yep.
Yes, the easiest thing that is to breathalyze her, but you got to give them a chance to pass the sobriety test, because when it goes to court, everything has to hold up.
Yeah,
And I understand it.
You don't follow it, it gets thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. That one chick was really funny though, because she started off being, I'm new here and I turned on the wrong street. Plausible answer.
Yeah, she started off on the right track.
Dude, my town has like this main road. When you get to close to the city, not city, when you get close to the fucking town, I guess, the main road kind of splits off and it's 2 one-way streets. And in between the one-way streets, there's some other businesses. So I went to Starbucks when it first opened, probably last year. Shut up. To get a regular fucking coffee, you fucking dick. And the guy goes, hey, for some fucking reason, the same thing you order, there's 2 of them. So I'm just going to give you 2. I'm only going to charge you for 1. I'm like, cool, no big deal. I go, and I know I need to go this way to get to the house. And I forgot that it's a one-way street. I can't go right. So I start going right down the fucking street. There's no cars coming or anything like that. I go, holy fuck, I'm going the wrong way. And it's fucking 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm sober as a fucking judge.
No, judges aren't sober. I don't understand
Sober
that.
as
I
a
don't understand that phrase.
Priest.
A what?
A priest? I'm sober. I'm sober. So
Okay.
I immediately bang a right down a street that is a 2-way street, and I'm good to go. But if I got pulled over there, I would certainly say what that girl said. I would say, we just recently moved here a few years ago. I totally forgot that's a one-way street. My bad. And I'll take that ticket. So when she gets pulled over, it's a plausible thing. I'm new here. I got turned around, whatever. She did everything perfectly. Then she starts doing the non-binary stuff.
Yeah, and once she starts throwing that out is when everything turned. And I'll tell you, that cop had the most restraint I've ever seen. And
He's great.
off to these police officers.
Yeah. And the funniest part is, like, so she starts off with the non-binary stuff, and fine, if that's her truth and that's what she really believes about herself, who the fuck are we to say? Right? Yeah, I know, but we're old and cunty, right? That's fine.
No, man, I'm just saying that girl was a girl.
Yes, and so then she gets a little bit more flustered, and then she starts going, "Well, I'm just a little nervous because I'm indigenous." He's like, "What?"
Checking all the boxes tonight, sweetheart.
Yeah, and I was like, "Ooh, it's not going to go good for you right now." Yeah, that sucks. I was going to say something. I had something for you.
And it just kept getting worse.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good.
Just like the other one I watched the other night too. I really wish I would have fucking sent you every link to this.
I love those nights when I wake up in the morning.
Somewhat lesbian chick got hammered. She hit a whole bunch of cars. She backed up, hit even more cars, and she backed up into a police cruiser. Okay,
As you do.
so she's an obvious lesbian. Traffic stop went fine.
Sure.
She's like, hey, I got, flustered. It was a tight street, whatever. I hit up a couple cars. Okay, whatever. And then she's like, I can't afford this. She starts escalating. I can't afford this. I can't afford a ticket. I can't deal with this. And the cops are like, hey, Amanda, whatever her fucking name was, just take a deep breath.
Yeah.
We'll wait, collect yourself. We're not going to say anything. And they're all just sitting back.
Yep.
And they're like, just talk. And then they start explaining to her what happened, and then she starts freaking out. So they're like, hey, we need you to exit the car. She's like, I'm not leaving the car. You can't, don't touch me, this, that, and the other thing. She gets out of the car, and they grab her hands.
Mm-hmm.
She immediately snaps and starts resisting.
Oh, fuck.
The passenger, who in the comment or in the wording is Julia,
Okay.
the dude,
Cool.
100% dude,
Sweet.
jumps over the console, jumps out the door, and tries to run. They snatch this motherfucker up. Stop resisting. Still resisting. Stood up and did something stupid and got fucking tased. Watching this dude who thinks he's a chick and he's all dude get fucking tased was amazing. Body stiff. The cop was standing right behind him, just caught him,
Yeah.
went down. So as it plays out, they're like, he's like, hey, he's in the back of the cop car. He's like, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. They flash back to all the bullshit that this fucker did. They're like, it's all on body cam.
Yeah.
And then this chick was completely belligerent.
Sure.
Didn't listen to any fucking commands. Violated. She should have been handed 84,000 tickets. And they show her getting in the back of the cop car. They show her to the police station. They show her locked up against the bench. She slipped a cuff in the back of the cop car.
Good on
When her
her.
hands got loose, they're like, "You gotta get out. They had to put the fucking hood over her head, the spit hood. And I was like, this is amazing. And then there was another chick. She was in a store, and they yelled at her to put a gun down. She was a crackhead.
Uh-huh.
She got yanked out of the fucking store, and this was 100% on the cop. She was handcuffed. As they took her out of the store into the cop car, she started angling herself. Straight meth head this chick was.
Sure.
She started angling herself. She fucking gets her hands are behind her back. She gets her hands on the cop's gun.
Whoa.
Doosh, doosh. You hear two shots, and everybody flips the fuck out. She ended up shooting the cop in the hand,
Oh my God.
trying to get away from this. I was like, then she immediately apologizes because you're fine if you apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you could, as they were, and this cop was nonchalant about hooking his arm into hers, and he had his gun on his right hip. You should have put her on the other side,
Yeah, for sure.
or put his hand on her hands and pushed her forward.
Sure.
Nope, man. She got a hold of his gun. I was like, but I got down that rabbit hole last night, and it was just like, this is amazing.
I do hate, and
Amazing.
there are bad cops out there, obviously, but there's really good cops there too, right? But I do hate the videos when someone gets pulled over and the cop goes, "Hey, can you put your window down a little bit?" And the guy's like, "No, I only have to do it legally." Like all those guys that cite all their legal stuff. And this a video that a lawyer was like kind of like his face was in the thing, and he was like walking through all the times where the cop was saying things that weren't true. He's like, legally, you have to put your window all the way down. And the lawyer goes, actually, legally, the guy doesn't. The guy was perfectly within his rights of what he was saying he was going to do. I still think that those guys are assholes. That do that.
I do too, and I understand where they're coming from, and some of these people know the law better than the cops, because we all know that cops are they ask questions purposely in a certain way to get you to incriminate yourself.
Yep.
We know you did something wrong. You know you did something wrong. We're
Sure.
just trying. The cops are like, we just kind of need you to admit it. If not, we're kind of just gonna have to let you go and all that. But it was. I watched a video the other day. Some dude got pulled over. He was an FBI agent.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yep.
The guy in the black hoodie,
Mhm.
and they're like, "Well, where'd you get this badge?" He goes, "I was issued it." He legit answered their questions as straightforward as you could be.
Yeah.
He never said, "I'm an FBI agent. I'm employed by the FBI." Nothing. And at the end of it, all the cops ate shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That dude was so fucking calm. Obviously, being contracted or whatever, working for the FBI or the DOJ, and everything he said was truthful and honest. But he wasn't combative. He didn't offer up anything extra.
Nope.
They asked him a question. He fucking answered it, and they're like, "What do we do now?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're gonna get egg on our face," and sure as shit they did.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, you can't have red lights. He's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah. If you're issued the red lights, like you have the red lights. He's like, no, not in this state. He goes, well,
But
yeah.
I'm contracted with the DOJ and the FBI, and they require that. And they're like, "No,
That's funny.
I'm gonna have them." But it's great to see some of those people that like that. But like you did say, some of those people come off cocky as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, if it's one thing to be right and to be nice about it and just try to get out of the situation, it's another thing to be right and be such a dickhead. Where it's like it's like when you're watching a movie and you're like, if the person would just say it, just say it,
Handle the truth.
Yeah, it's just.
I mean, I got busted one night. Me and my buddy were driving through East Aurora, my lowrider, which had way illegal tint windows, and we were throwing eggs around town at people on the street. We threw eggs at the police station, and they caught up to us on Center Road, headed up towards the high school.
Yep.
Cops pulled me over. I had a fucking massive stereo system in, and they said the reason they pulled me over was noise ordinance. That my stereo was too loud. I'm like, that's absolutely not true. At 9 p.m., I live in a small town. My music gets turned down low. He's like, we got reports of a red truck and people throwing eggs. And I'm like, how am I throwing eggs while I'm driving? We had no eggs in the car. We threw all this evidence out.
You're fresh out of.
Asshole friend threw an egg out and it cracked. There was like 2 drops of egg on the passenger side of my truck.
Boy.
So he's like, we're going to give you a ticket for tinted windows. And I was like, wait a second. It was summertime. My windows were down.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, you have tinted windows, correct? And I'm like, no. My windows are down. How do you think I have tinted windows? So we argued about it. And he said, well, we're going to have another police officer come up with the tester. I said, okay. I got all night. I got nowhere to go.
Right.
Like, dude, I called his bluff. They didn't have one.
Mm-hmm. And if it's dark out,
Dude, it's midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, there's no way you're gonna get a true reading on that.
So I'm like, you don't have one. So he writes me a ticket for some bullshit. All right, cool. So I go to court. And I'm like, I'll see you in court, whatever. And I go there and I talk to the fucking prosecutor and the judge. And they're like, so window tint. I'm like, what about it? My windows were down. You can't test my windows after the fact. That's double jeopardy. I can't incriminate myself right now. So the fucking cop goes, is that your truck across the street? I'm like, yeah. He goes, you mind if we go test it? I'm like, yeah. You can't do that.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
These motherfuckers ordered a brand new window tint tester in the meantime of this because they tried to give me a fucking ticket over this.
Right.
And I knew just enough to fluster these assholes.
Mhm.
I got a parking ticket reduced to a parking ticket. I paid my $35 fine. I literally walked out of fucking court going.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I left, I turned up my fucking sound system as loud as it would go, rattled the fucking court's windows, and just rolled the fuck out of town. I'm like, I'll see you next weekend.
And that's the shit that I hate too. Like,
Entrapment.
there's obvious issues with the legal system, obviously, but I wish that everyone would just be a little bit cooler about shit, and that's the public too. I think the public needs
It is. So that goes both ways. I mean,
Sure.
I've seen also these reels. People on motorcycles get pulled over. And cops say, "Hey, do you know what you're doing?" And guys are like, "I just bought this motorcycle a month ago." He's like, "Your taillights are too close. They need 9 inches apart." This, that, and everything. He's like, "You got your endorsement." The guy's like giving him all his shit.
Yeah.
Being super polite. He's got the GoPro on his helmet. And the cop comes back. He's like, "Hey, man, here's a checklist. Make sure you check all these boxes. This is kind of a warning. It's a really nice bike." He goes, "I ride bikes too." He goes, "I just want you to know," and whatever. And it honestly, being polite to police officers and complying will get you so much farther. You
Yeah.
might not even get a fucking ticket.
Yeah, the last time that we were coming up with the kids, we had to go to a funeral first, and the funeral was like way in the other way. So we drive to go to the funeral, and the guy was, it was Tanya's cousin. He was like a really cool guy, and there was a lot of people there. He was in the military for a while, so they had the military people come, and so we're waiting at this this funeral for a long time to go in, and it was a lot, and then we have to get on the road and drive to Columbus to fucking stay over so we can get to Buffalo in the morning. And so I'm speeding through all these like small little towns and shit like that, and I don't know that it goes from 55 as you go under a bridge. It goes to 35 because you're getting into some smallest town. I'd never been down this road. I slowed down a little bit. I'm going 45 into 35, right? So I'm 10 over. Cop turns around and I'm like, fuck. I got kids in the car. I got Tanya. It's a whole thing. So lights. I pull over and the guy's like, "Hey, do you know I pulled you over?" I'm like, "I have no idea. I've never been on this road." Like the same shit the girl was saying. I've never been on this road. We're going on vacation right now. We have to be in Columbus, hopefully by midnight to get the kids to sleep. So I probably wasn't paying attention, but like, what's going on? He's like, it was a 30 mile an hour zone that he clocked me going 45 in or whatever. I was like, I had no idea. Yeah. So he takes my license, takes my insurance, goes to the car, comes back, and he goes, "Hey, like, why were you going so fast?" I was like, "Well, we're coming from a funeral." He's like, "Well, where was the funeral?" I'm like, "I don't know any of the names of the towns." And Tanya goes, "Well, it was this one funeral thing, whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's for a cousin, whatever. We got to be in Columbus." And I'm sorry, man, I just wasn't thinking about it. And he gave me a warning. Couldn't have been nicer, But man, I was going 30 all the way through that bitch. I didn't speed the entire fucking way. Even on the highway, when it says 75, I'm going 78. Usually I go 84. I wasn't chancing fucking anything.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's just, I mean, I would just wish more people would understand that. I'm like, and these guys don't want to go through the paperwork of writing you a fucking ticket for some bullshit. They don't. You're upfront and open and honest and handling the paperwork and being polite. Dude, you're 9 times out of 10, you're probably not getting a ticket. I listen to my cousin tell me all the time. He's like, somebody were just fucking normal people and talk to me.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm going to say, slow the fuck down. Keep your fucking head on a swivel. Be careful. Here's your warning. Next time you do it, if I catch you, I'm going to write you a ticket. Thank you. And everybody's cool, and away you go.
A buddy of mine he owns a place around here. He's got like $105,000 truck. It's awesome. And it's like a Black Widow edition, right? But it's military green. We'll get out of here after this. But military green truck, Black Widow edition. I need you to remember that part. Cop pulls him over, and the cop goes, "Hey, it's a nice truck." And he goes, "Yeah, thanks. I just got it, And he goes, "I ran your plates, and it says that it should be black." And he goes, No, it's a Black Widow edition. And he says, for some reason, it's saying that it should be black. And he goes, well, it's not. Now, this guy used to be a detective, like my buddy. And they call another car in. So now he's sitting there for like 45 fucking minutes while they're all shooting the shit. And the reason he pulled him over in the first place is because he said he had a nice truck. Same shit as you. Like pulling over for one reason and not.
Yeah.
And so they're like, well, we're just going to give you a ticket for mud flaps. He goes, I have mud flaps. He's like, listen, I'm just going to give you a ticket for something small. You can go about your way. He was like, no, I didn't do any of this shit. And so he's arguing with the guy for like an hour now. And they're just trying to find something to give him a ticket for. So they get their stop or whatever it is. And I don't, are there quotas?
I don't know, and I think that's a very good question we need to ask a LEO at some point. If there is, I think there is to a point. I don't think it's as egregious as everybody thinks.
Yeah. So like this guy's like, okay, so you pulled me over because you said I have a nice truck. I do have a nice truck. Then you're telling me it's this. Then you try to give me a ticket for mud flaps. And so he had to go and fight the whole thing. I think it all got thrown out. But at the same point, it's like,
so you're wasting everybody's time at that point.
yeah. And like 3 cars had to come.
And nowadays with the wraps, like my truck's dark blue. I can take that to a body shop and have that thing wrapped. It can be yellow by tomorrow afternoon.
In a day, yep.
Now I have to submit paperwork to the DMV
Yep.
to say my truck is still painted blue, but it's wrapped yellow. Now I need a new registration sticker. So if a cop were to pull me over
Yep.
and say, hey, this truck is now yellow.
Yep.
There's a lot of that shit going on, and it's tough, but
here's the thing that drives me crazy. If you walk into a Rite Aid and you throw a bunch of shit into a bag and you walk out and it's less than $900, you get nothing. But if you're driving down the street in a nice truck, they can pull you over and then they write you some bullshit ticket for something that you already have. It's like, well, we're just going to write you a ticket for your rear tail light being out. It's like, but they work. Like, well, yeah, it's just going to be this. And they'd make it think.
could be worse. We're just going to write that.
Yeah,
No,
like
you're
you're-
not giving me any of that.
Well, fuck all that noise. Not up in that. Not up.
My taillights are 2 parts. The big part at the bottom, and then it's got a little light at the top. And then I was back into the driveway one day, and I caught it on the camera.
Mhm.
I looked, and I just got my truck inspected. I mean, I just got my truck back a month and a half, 2 months ago.
Right.
I just got my truck inspected 2 weeks ago, and the upper driver's side part of my taillight doesn't work.
Right.
That's all it's going to take for a cop to pull me over at any moment. Just say, hey, I touched the brakes, and 3 of the 4 lights up. They're like, hey, he's got a taillight out.
And I get that. Yeah.
Now I got to Google how to do that because I don't want to take it to a shop. This is going to charge me $120 for
Easily.
a fucking $4 bulb.
Easily. Yep.
Whatever. So it's like, I got to worry about that.
Yep.
It shouldn't be a thing because all the rest, I mean, of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bulbs that show you I'm stepping on my brakes, 4 of them work, which should be fucking enough.
Right.
It might not be sometimes. You never know who you're going to run into.
We could do a bar at the lake, that bait shop I told you about.
Yeah.
And Tanya's car, we were happy when she got it. She wanted to get a new car and all that shit. And we've had nothing but problems with this thing. Nothing but problems. It's a Volkswagen. Everything's going wrong with it. Everything.
Dude, we can't really shit on that. It's German.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah, we can't shit in Germany. Hess, Germany. So I turn off the car, walk into the bar, and I notice that all the lights in the car are off. The front right headlight is off, and the front left one is still going. And I'm like, okay. So I go back in, I start the car up again, and I can see when I start the car up, both lights go on. So the first thing was like, maybe we got a headlight out or something, and that's the last thing you need on the country.
Yeah.
Fuck. Even if you have like 2 beers, you don't want to have like a headlight out. Instant pullover, right?
Yeah.
So I'm fucking around with the whole shit. And the only thing I was worried about, I wasn't worried about us not being able to see. I wasn't worried about us like anything. But I was worried about if we have a few beers and we're driving on the road and some fucking electronic problem is fucking happening, and fucking I turn it on, turn it off, same problem. Turn on, turn off, same problem. Turn on, turn off, same problem. And we go inside for a little bit, come back out, turn on, turn off, both headlights go off. Everything's working. It's an electrical fucking issue, and that's what we need to pull over on fucking because some fucking rat chewed on a cord when this thing was on a dock somewhere coming from fucking Germany, and that's why we get pulled over. You know, all that. All right, we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Good job. I'm gonna go take. Tanya got Moe's earlier, so I'm gonna eat that and take the best dump of all time.
I got one brewing. I gotta grab that dump. I gotta get my contacts out and drop a deuce.
We should do that thing where we text each other while we shit. Yes.
While or after?
During. It's fine.
Okay.
All right, cool. All right, we'll get out of here. Thanks for watching our show, and we'll see you guys.
Go from the dome, exploring topics, they just turn into stones so big
And again, if you suffer from anything like
retardation.
make sure you call the number and make sure you have your
Retardation.
in moderation. Okay, that's all it's about. Okay, it's fine. It's fine every once in a while to act like you have.
Retardation.
But if you have a problem with,
retardation.
go ahead and get it checked out. Okay, you can always call the number
Retardation.
800-666.
Retardation.
There you go, and we'll go from there. All right, we're out of here. Spay neuter your pets, you cunts.